Monday, August 18th, 2024, in the year of our Lord. OThaGreat, high off the glass, y'all. We back in this bitch. You know what I'm saying? Back like we never left. About to get this mug started. I am excited. Sorry, I'm a little late, y'all. I was pushing, trying to get out the house. I am in Overtime Studios at 3119 Hampton Ave. What is it? My City, My Music proprietor, Justin Kick It. Got my homegirl, Christian with a K, is in the green room doing some production. And my co-host today that I am super excited to have, it's our boy, you know him, you love him, Mr. Josh Price, everybody. Give it up for Josh.
Glad to be back. Always a great time on High Off the Glass. So.
Always. You know what I'm saying? We love having you because you bring knowledge and you bring education to the show.
I do what I can, baby.
For real, bro. Now help me out with this. We was just talking about this 2 seconds ago. Dude, when and who made the decision to take away 3 weeks of summer from these kids and make these kids go to school in August? Like, you from here, right?
Yeah.
Did y'all go to school in August?
So we always went to school in August, but it was always like the very, very end of August.
Word?
Yeah, so like we would go back, the max was like 2 weeks before Labor Day. Which I guess.
Whoa! So y'all did go in August.
Yeah, so we went in August, but a lot of the time that I was in school, it was literally that last full week of August.
Wow.
We would be off the Monday of Labor Day and then get into the full swing of the school year. But it's always been August in Missouri. I just feel like we've been kind of pushing that line further and further close to the beginning of August as opposed to the end.
Further and further back. I'm going to tell you like this. I'm from the East Coast. I'm from Springfield, Mass., home of where the greatest sport on earth was created. I'm going to tell you like this. If they tried to make us come back to school before Labor Day, the teachers would have rioted. The teachers and principals was not playing that shit. That's why that's why I never understood this. Don't come to we started school in August. Now, granted, I get it. These kids get out a little earlier, but they're not getting out too much earlier because they still in school till June.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It's always trash in Missouri too because schools here, and I'm sure it's the same way in Massachusetts with the weather. You build in days for snow days, right?
Yeah, heck yeah.
But now you build in days for snow days. But you also have the, forget the abbreviation they use, but basically they can teach them remotely now.
Oh, they got the PD days.
Yeah, so
they got PD days, yeah.
They got PD days where they get out early. You got the days where they decide to do remote learning.
Yeah.
So now you end up using a lot of days, but still kind of giving yourself wiggle room for when you got to cancel it all completely. So it's a lot that goes into it. I hate to be the people making those decisions sometimes, but I just want the kids to get quality education.
No doubt. I mean, that's what it's about. All right, granted, y'all, we're not here to talk school starting for the whole show, because trust me, we definitely not here for that. I just hate that these kids have to lose out on summer.
Yeah,
because if it was me and what was it, and they was doing that to us in the 80s and 90s, shit, we would have the teachers and principals would have rioted, and we would have been right after them. All right, man, we gonna jump right in the show. Off the flip, you know what? Which one you want to do? NBA schedule drop first or Olympics wrap up first?
Let's get into the Olympics first.
Yeah, just knock that on.
Yeah, let's get into the Olympics first. So I did a little thing on my show for those of y'all who don't know. Price Check on YouTube, the Price Check YouTube channel. Talked a little bit.
Make sure y'all check it out. It's dope. Oh, and Josh, before you go on, we are powered by STL Cannabis Club, which is a purveyor of Cola Lounge over on Cherokee Street, St. Louis. Make sure you guys check them out. Cherokee Lounge is the only cannabis consumption lounge in this side of Missouri. I don't know what KC got going. I don't even know if KC has one, but I don't want to speak on them. But we are the only ones on this side of Missouri, and I seriously doubt they got one south, that where you can go and blow your cannabis. You ain't got to worry about nothing. You pay a small membership fee, or if you're smart, you get the monthly or the yearly joint, and you ain't got to worry about no fee every time you walk in there. And you just blow. I love it. You can blow, you can drink, you can do your get on your computer, do your work. Wi-Fi is on point. You can play games, and you can watch movies on streaming. So yeah, check out Cola Lounge, y'all.
Shout out Cola Lounge, man. I gotta go back and see about the membership.
You do need to go back. Whatever you want to go back to, let me know.
Bet that. So yes, my gripe with the Olympics is nothing that has to do with the outcome of the Olympics. Shout out to both the women's and men's national teams for keeping their gold medal streaks alive.
Damn right.
Ladies, up to 8 straight gold medals, which means for those of y'all keeping count at home, I was born in the year 1992. They have been winning gold medals literally my entire life.
Yep.
And the men have now ran their streak up to 5 straight gold medals. But despite all that, all that we kept hearing entire Olympics long, and I guess for the women, this was before the Olympics, but women, why isn't Caitlin Clark on the team?
Oh, God.
And men's, why isn't Jason Tatum getting more playing time?
Right.
And so we went through this whole thing of Steve Kerr's a horrible coach, which is one of the most idiotic complaints I've ever heard in my life. And, of course, for the people who don't know the background on the women's national team, they do their camps and stuff like 2.5 years in advance. Same kind of timeline the men operate under on the World Championships, right? Which means during that timeline, Caitlin Clark was a junior in college. She couldn't have participated.
Man, thank you.
She couldn't have participated. So let's leave that where it is. Mind you, the break that the WNBA gets from the Olympics actually did serve her well. She had 29-10 her first game back.
Right.
It's a win-win for everybody.
Right. The woman needed the break. Her and Reese needed the break. There's no reason for neither one of them to be on team, and especially Clark, because these women went from a grueling college basketball season to a grueling tournament to straight in the WNBA. I mean, they had a 2-week break?
Yeah, their off-season literally was like 2 or 3 weeks.
Bruh, that is it. And they jumped right into the league. So, yeah, she needed that break.
Yeah, she needed that break, which you could easily see. She played a lot more relaxed. She played a lot more within herself and was just a lot more dominant on the court coming back in this game.
Who they play? Who the Fever play?
Oh, God.
Was it the Liberty?
I think it was. No, it was not the Liberty. It was not Chicago Sky either. Damn.
Yeah, it's because Sky played Liberty.
They got a win. That's all I know. And I'm blanking on who they played. But
it's all good.
29 points, 10 assists. She was awesome. And then on the men's side, right? Everybody keeps doing this thing about, well, Jason Tatum should have played more. Which, granted, Jason Tatum, best player to come out of St. Louis. He's arguably top 5, top 10 in the NBA right now. Currently, NBA champion and Olympic gold medalist. Got to give him his shout out.
All in the same year.
But who was he supposed to play over? Because if we're keeping it a buck, our 3 best players were in no order: Steph, LeBron, and KD. LeBron and KD both play the same position.
Okay, here's the thing, right? And I'm your pushback on
that. Yeah. Because I figured you would be. Yeah, because I wanted to bring it to the table.
Exactly, because that is my guy.
Yeah.
I'm any and everything Celtics. Okay, here's the thing, right? Yes, those were the 3 best players, but those were the 3 best players, fam, because the whole team was generated and orchestrated to play under them. You know what I'm saying? If you would have played Halliburton, JT, and Ant-Man longer, guess what? You probably wouldn't have had that close game against Sudan. You probably wouldn't have had such close games against Serbia. You know what I'm saying? You probably would have blew motherfuckers out. But you wanted to, and I get Kerr, right? And I get the hate that Kerr is getting, but also too, I get what Kerr was doing. And if y'all got any questions on this, you got an opinion, call in 515-599-1687, 515-599-1687. Do you think he underplayed JT? Do you think he played him enough? What's your thoughts on the NBA schedule drop? Are you excited about the football season? I kind of am because New England. But anyway, we'll get into that later. But to me, they catered the team around the old dudes. Now, I get that because Steph and KD is still Kerr's guy, and Kerr loves Brown. Plus, Steph and KD probably ain't gonna be on this team in 2028 in LA. Bron's gonna be there some way, shape, or form. I don't want to hear nobody say Bron. Bron is gonna be on that team. Hey, Bron is gonna figure out a way. It's either he gonna be on that motherfucker or Bron is gonna be on there. Like Bron will be a coach. Bron will be a player coach. He will be the Jerry Colangelo of that mug. Like I'm telling you, fam. I don't know why y'all sleeping. So he will be on that mug some way. Sure, Old Man River will find a way. Mr. I don't like the spotlight. He will find a way to make himself the story and be on there. Man. So to me, I didn't understand why he had to get all the minutes. And also, too, their offense was hella slow. It was mad slow. It's basically what y'all got to deal with over 82 games with the Fakers. It's just like, come on up. All right, somebody get in position, wait for Bron to get open, or maybe Bron charges the middle, or other than that, Bron charges the middle and then kicks the shooters. That was the offense. The offense was mad slow. If they would have had the younger dudes, it would have been faster. But again, I still think JT could have played more. JT could have took some of them KD minutes. Hell, JT could have took some of them Drew Holiday, Derek White minutes. Them cats played more than JT, fam. And I get why they play, because they're defensive specialists, and you need defensive specialists on that team. I get it. But for you to, because it almost seems like, and here's the thing, right? You listen to NBA radio, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not a fan of Justin Termini.
Okay.
I don't like that dude, but sometimes he makes a good point. And he is a Celtic fan. He's from, I guess he's from Boston or New England. You can barely tell the way he hates on him. But he's very honest. And one thing he said that was so true, why do you go to the Olympics? Other than to win a gold medal and to rep your country, you go to, push your brand and to push your game and to show everybody, show the world how dominant and dope you are. Look what happened to my man this year. He did that. That was a complete opposite. My man has been on an Olympic gold medal team before, just 3.5 years ago in Tokyo. And this is what the love he gets? Like, that's the shit I couldn't get with Josh. And it's like, y'all really kind of shot yourselves in the foot by just promoting, and I get it. This may be, and even your boy Bron, it might be his last one, even though I doubt it. But for KD and Steph, this is definitely their last one, so you had to push them dudes. But you also shitted on the younger cats in the process, and guess what? They're going to remember that.
I feel that. I feel the whole, they're going to remember it, all that. But we got to keep in mind, LeBron will be 40 in December. Mm-hmm. I believe Steph Curry is 37 going on 38. Mm-hmm. I believe Kevin Durant is 36 going on 37. Mm-hmm. None of those three guys, let alone getting the chance to play in, like, World Cup, any of that stuff together. They're not going to be able to play on the same team together again.
Right.
Not going to have an Olympic chance again, whereas you got guys like Halliburton, he's the point guard of the future for Team USA.
He is. Who shouldn't even been on the team.
Well, if you're filling out a roster with a guy that you know is going to need those reps later, I understand it. You could make a case for a number of different guys over Tyrese Halliburton.
Right.
Jalen Brunson being one that immediately comes to mind.
Brunson and Brown, the two J's.
But I think the issue.
Trae Young, shit.
But
I would take Trae Young over Tyrese.
So I would take Trae Young in the standpoint of he's going to be kind of what you mentioned is like somebody who's going to push pace, kind of help you play faster.
That's it right there.
But he is going to be a defensive zero in Olympic play because they can play
true.
A lot more physical in FIBA than they can in the NBA.
They can.
But my whole thing with the Jason Tatum conversation is this. We're also missing the fact that when he did get an opportunity to play, he didn't look that great. And I'm not going to hold all of that over his head because, again, he's also coming off an NBA season where he played and won a championship. Mm-hmm. So he was playing basically right up until the time that they left for camp.
Right.
But if my alternative is Jason Tatum, whose minutes have been so-so, and Kevin Durant, who, mind you, didn't play a single exhibition, but his very first tournament game in the Olympics went 9 for 9 from the field, I'm gonna go ahead and give KD the minutes.
I get it. But if you look at the exhibition games leading up to the Olympics, all them games in July, JT looked pretty good. KD played none of them because KD was hurt, and we understood that. And then listen though, you remember what the narrative was back then? Why is KD on the team? Kawhi just left. Kawhi can't play. They took him off. Why is KD still there? Right. KD shouldn't even be on the team. And I'm listening to national sports media say that. I'm like, that's kind of effed up. Y'all know this is his last go round. Like, let the man do it. But they tripping because he didn't play an exhibition game.
Well, and if we're also keeping it a buck, we trust Kevin Durant coming back from injury a lot more than we trust Kawhi Leonard.
You preach.
Preach. And as you can see, the Clippers had a whole beef with the Team USA process, which we'll see how that plays out. But they're gonna be hurt.
What was the beef?
They basically said it was unfair for them to kind of effectively force Kawhi off the team when he was medically cleared.
Wow.
But my thinking is,
if
I'm Team USA, y'all not gonna blame me when he go out here and get hurt.
Boy, you dropping.
You're not gonna blame me when he go out here and get hurt because he might have been medically cleared and perfectly fine to play when camp was going on. But he would have been out. Imagine him chasing around Bogdanović in Serbia. That ACL would have gave out long ago in Paris.
Good luck.
His knees would have still been overseas somewhere.
Right.
So I'm
Grant Hill ain't want that smoke.
Yeah, Grant Hill and Grant Hill also keep in mind the perspective, a guy who had an injury-riddled career.
Yes, sir.
Understands that, okay, putting him in that position, while we may benefit from it, and if that team hurts from it later, they're going to come back and point the finger at us.
And I'm so shocked because I just knew you was going to say, thank you, send his ass back to L.A. He don't need to be in Paris. I thought that was the Clippers' mindset. The Clippers wanted him to be over there, and I get it, because why did the Clippers want him over there? To push his brand, like I just mentioned with JT, and to push the Clippers brand. We get it. Yeah. You wanted a Clippers representative over there. We 1,000,000% get it. But do you want someone someone over there that could potentially hurt themselves. And also, too, when you mention the Clippers, you let your best player walk for nothing. Your best player.
Come on now.
Granted,
come on now.
You know what I'm saying? Now, granted, what's his face? Paul George is a freaking nomad, and he don't really have a home. He like a fucking Rolling Stone from damn Temptations and shit. But you should have done everything to keep that man in the building, because you know who's not going to give you quality minutes and points late in games? Jamie Harden. He just not. You know who I hope does not get hurt but potentially will? Kawhi Leonard. Like, it's just,
well,
Clippers are
and you know what? I hate to turn this into a Clippers thing, but it was very interesting to me that in Paul George's breakdown, which he was really open about on his podcast, he was never, at least to me, and of course, you know, we got only his side of it. We didn't get the Clippers front office side of it. It was very interesting to me, though, that he was never like, hey, y'all need to pay me more than Kawhi because I'm more available to him, or I need to be taken care of like the star player. Never said that. His thought was, okay, y'all gave Kawhi 3 for $150. Let me go ahead and get the same thing. We came together. We can, you know, pull it off.
Right.
And that's the person you push back on?
Right.
Y'all gave Kawhi. Granted, Kawhi was healthy at the time they gave him the extension. It was like January. They was on the run.
It was right after, I thought. Oh, wait. Yeah, they did give him the extension.
They went on that crazy run. I want to say they won like 20 out of 25 games. They were like second, third seed in the West.
Yeah.
Everything looked great.
Yeah.
As soon as he got that extension, what happens? He goes down. James Harden started getting a little bit inconsistent. They fall to like that 5-6 range. Yeah. And then next thing you know, you look up, they out in the first round of the playoffs.
Wow.
And Kawhi, again, yet another season where he not only misses games during the regular season, he's hurt by the time that you finish your playoff series. I just don't understand how that's the person you were willing to immediately give your money to.
Right.
Then when free agency hits, you're still playing hardball with Paul George, and then you immediately give 2 years and $70 million to James Harden. I don't get it.
It don't make no sense.
I don't get it.
2 years, $70 million.
Yes, $35 a year. $35 a year to James Harden because they have a new stadium that they need to open and they need some star power behind it.
Here 100%. Here's something. This is a topic we're gonna do later on in the season, or maybe we'll do this. We'll probably do this next month before training camp opens for the NBA. Who's the biggest thief in the NBA? Jamie Harden or Bradley Beal? Like, dude, all them cats do is steal money, bro.
I mean,
like, they don't do shit else. Like, but we'll say that for another day.
Yeah. So look, I'll say my opinion on that one for a while.
So just to wrap up the Olympics thing, I really, and I get why Kerr got all the smoke, and I'm glad he got it, because to me, you could have made room for. You could have made more playing time for Jason Tatum, and also too, you can't really say to me now. The only reason I liked it because I didn't want every Celtic on that damn Olympic team.
Right.
But you can't make a reasonable, smart argument why Jaylen Brown was not on that team. You know what I'm saying?
I don't agree with the Derek White over Jaylen Brown thing. Right. There's two opinions I have on that though. One, I didn't love that JB made a spectacle out of it on social media, which he later came back around and said, hey, that wasn't directed at my teammate. That's directed more at the Team USA.
Right.
Totally get that part of it, but I didn't like how that initially looked from his end.
Right.
Second thing, from a playing style roster construction thing, I guess you can kind of nitpick and say Jaylen Brown might have brought some similar things to guys they already had, but to me, it made way more sense to have like some rotation of him and Devin Booker at the 2 spot versus White and Devin Booker.
Right.
Granted, Derek White played his ass off in the Olympics. I'm not going to take that away from him.
He always does.
Yeah,
Derek White is the shit.
He's going to play well regardless. Like he's arguably right now the best role player in the NBA.
Oh, good call.
I mean, you can throw a bunch of other names at me, but in terms of overall impact, you could make the argument that if the Celtics did not have him last year, they don't win a ring.
Preach.
So,
God, yes.
Yeah, so we give him all his praise right now. But 100%. I do think that your ceiling is higher with Jaylen Brown on that.
Yeah, I think so too.
So
all right, so that's where we at with the Olympics. We wrapping with that. I'm excited. The NBA season schedule dropped. Yep. Now, granted, can you bring up the schedule because I did not.
So I have up ESPN's like little schedule release article.
Okay,
it doesn't, well, you can go team by team to see every game, but it kind of highlights the main national TV games that's out so far.
Yeah, definitely you could use that. And then what is it? And maybe if you go to NBA.com, it'll show it all. I'll start because I kind of want to because I don't know who's playing on Christmas. But
I do have a Christmas schedule.
You do have Christmas bet. We'll start with the season opener, of course. Champs versus Knicks. That makes perfect sense.
Perfect sense.
And I guess
that's actually a great TV game.
That is.
That's a great.
That is.
TV
and
game
I remember when we
with.
started the season against the Knicks a couple years ago, and Evan Fournier. I don't know for what the hell reason it is. It was right after we traded him to the Knicks, or we released him and the Knicks picked him up. I forget which way it went. And that season, this is about 2 seasons ago, my man would clown. He wouldn't play good against nobody else in the league but Boston. I'm talking about it started at game 1 of the season opener.
And the crazy thing was,
whole season.
It was a lot of teams he wasn't even getting minutes against. But every time he played the Celtics, it was
Evan,
blouses.
You playing. Matter of fact, they'll sit Randall to play him against us. Like that dude. But I love it. I love the NBA when and I'm not gonna front. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, I can't believe I'm gonna say this out loud because I sure was just gonna keep it East Coast. But I love the NBA when it's the Knicks, the Celtics, and the.
Go ahead and say it. It's okay. It's okay.
God,
it's okay.
Say their name. When Los Angeles, not the Clippers, are good. I can't say they. I hate them so much.
Hey, it's okay. I have to sit over here and be nice to the defending champion.
You do. You see the hat. You see the hat, baby. Yeah, champs. You too. You see it. There you go, champ.
My stomach hurts every time I have to look at the fucking gold around the fucking logo and shit. Like,
C's, baby. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. Okay, I get it. Yeah. But the league is better when those most historic franchises in North American sports are good. Lakers, Celtics, and Knicks. When those, it's almost like with baseball. When the Red Sox, the Yanks, and I guess the Dodgers, when all three of them are good, baseball's better.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to seeing a great season between all three of those teams. We'll get to y'all a little bit later, but what is it? I'm excited, and I can't wait just to see. Because here's the thing, right? The C's are going to get everyone's best game 82 times this year. Like everybody is going to go hard at them. How do they deal with that? And my question is, how do the Knicks deal with? Okay, you got a for real big brother now. Because for a little bit, since nobody else in your division won, the East is up for grabs. Right. Now you got a for sure winner of the East, and somebody who controls that mug. What are you going to do with it, Knicks? Like that's my question.
I'm interested to see what this Knicks team does because I think. The Mikal Bridges thing is interesting, right? Because it's not like they added like a top 5 player in the league.
Right.
But he's probably going to the team that is absolutely the best fit for him.
Mm-hmm.
Because now, unlike how it was for him just recently in Brooklyn, he doesn't have to be the go-to guy on offense. Mm-hmm. A lot similar to how it was for him in Phoenix, you can essentially be a 3-and-D guy and play that role at the highest level possible, and we're going to be amazing.
Yeah, Phoenix needed him still.
Absolutely.
They effed up like
absolutely.
They had to. Yeah.
So the Knicks thing to me is going to be interesting though because it's a cross between a team that is kind of right there at the point where they're ready to take off, but also right there where you don't know how they're going to respond to having legitimate expectations.
Right.
So I think they're built to win. I just think at some point they're going to have to make a decision on Julius Randle, and I think he's going to be the odd man out.
Oh, God, yeah.
I think he's going to be the odd man out.
But to me, though, I don't think they don't get to the Eastern Conference Finals, and they don't go past the Eastern Conference Finals without Randle. They need him some way, shape, or form. Or somebody replace that.
So they can't for instance, they can't get rid of him and add wing depth. They have to go get another big that can play a similar role to Randle without being the go-to scorer that he tries to be a lot of times.
Yep.
I don't know what that trade would be right now. I don't know what that the roster move looks like, but I think eventually. And maybe he proves me wrong, right? Maybe Julius Randle proves me wrong, but I think eventually there is going to be a part of him in how he plays in terms of just being able to go get his own shot a lot of times. Yeah. Where that's going to interfere with the bigger picture.
Yeah.
But I do think they're the second best team in the East right now.
I think so too.
I also think, as much as I hate to fucking say it, I do think there is a significant might be the wrong word. There's a decent sized gap between where they are and where the Celtics are.
Well, you don't hate to say the truth.
Well, but come on now. But I think from media coverage wise, the media would try to lead you to believe that it is this jam-packed top of the East, and I think the Celtics are in a tier of their own.
So. Oh yeah. I think
Again,
so too.
as much as I hate to say it, but
right.
The only issue that the Celtics are going to have to start the season is not knowing the timetable for Porzingis, but we saw them do.
Oh yeah,
we saw them do all this without Porzingis anyway. So
Porzingis, like, okay, look, you got pound cake. Pound cake is still fire. You add some frosting on top, it makes it even better.
Exactly.
But you can have the pound cake without damn frosting.
Yeah.
He is just the frosting.
Yeah.
So I'm not.
It is exactly what y'all had with. What is it? Bill Walton with the fucking.
Oh, in '86.
The exact same thing. Y'all were great anyway.
Yeah.
But having Bill Walton come play 20, 25 minutes was fucking icing, cherry, fucking chocolate sauce, sprinkles, all that shit. Like, it was next level. So I think this is a similar situation. I don't think this Celtics team is as good as that Celtics team. But it's a similar situation. They're going to be fine with or without him.
I think this Celtics team could be better than last year's because they know what to do. Like, that's why that's why last year's team was better than all them previous Celtics teams.
Because they had been through the failures.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's even better than that 2022 Ime Udoka NBA Finals team because they had been through the shit. Right. So I think they'll be better. The thing I'm thinking about with the Knicks, right? And nobody talks – it's talked about quietly, but y'all know it. Damn, what is it? Thibodeau runs his damn players into the ground. Like, that's what he does. Facts. So, like, here's the thing: you got a NBA Iron Man in Mikal Bridges, and then you got a fucking Stalin type of fucking worker ass coach that works the shit out of his players in Thibodeau. What's gonna break first? Because this man has not missed a game. Mikal Bridges has never missed a game, and Thibodeau runs his shit into people into the ground. So what do you think happens first?
The only thing that is gonna save Tom Thibodeau from himself is the fact they just have depth now. So like if you think about the rotation they had in the playoffs, it was a lot of them relying on Josh Hart, DiVincenzo. You know, they had Miles McBride, like, doing all that type of shit because they were so injured. Well, now you get Bridges in. You can afford to bring either Hart or DiVincenzo off the bench. You don't have to put as many miles on all of those guys together. Also, if Randall does turn out to still fit in with this team, that's a lot less small ball you got to play with those guys. Not only playing big minutes, but playing big minutes against a bigger opponent. So it might work itself out, but the thing that I'm worried about for them is, do they run Jalen Brunson into the ground more so than Mikal Bridges?
All of them, fam. All of them. Because here's the thing. Their depth, and they have depth, like you said, but, bro, they get injured so fast. And I think it's either because conditioning or your coach. Because you got OG kicking ass as soon as he gets there. Shortly after he gets there, severely hurt. Mitchell Robinson, kicking ass, severely gets hurt. It's just like their depth goes away really fast because of all them damn injuries. So to me, I think I'm right there with you. There's a gap between Celtics and everybody else in the East. Now the media's gonna shit on us like they usually do, but I'm not worried about it. What we got for Christmas?
So Christmas, speaking of the Knicks, they get the alien himself, Victor Wembanyama goes to New York for the Christmas game for his first time on Christmas Day. Second game of the Christmas slate, you got Timberwolves and Mavericks from the rematch of the playoff matchup.
Timberwolves and Mavs, that's going to be good.
This last year, y'all get 76ers at home.
We better be playing that. We better be playing that.
Interested to see how the whole Paul George thing plays out, if he's even going to be healthy by the time Christmas Day rolls.
Wait, he ain't healthy now?
Well, no, he is. I'm just saying he's good for
injury prone. Yeah, he is. He is definitely.
And then you got Lakers and Warriors and Nuggets Suns, which Nuggets Suns, I feel like we can replace them as a Western Conference matchup to end the night. Because to me, there's no rivalry there.
There's no juice with Phoenix. There's no juice at all. Like, that Phoenix team has two dudes.
I guess from a media standpoint, if you're thinking about Western Conference teams, I guess that's the best matchup you can put for like the very, very end of the night. But I'm kind of overseeing that matchup. This is like the third straight Christmas I think we're gonna get Suns and Nuggets to close out the night.
I'll be honest with you. I'm in all the teams you named. The first one, especially when you said West Coast, you know who's coming to mind that that is not on there.
Who?
Why the fuck is OKC not playing?
Well, see, OKC is weird though because they're Western Conference, but they're Central Time Zone. So
good point.
So you
shit, you schedule them to play on the West Coast. Like shit. Well, that ain't hard.
But in terms of who their opponent is gonna be, you probably still looking at like a Denver or Phoenix. Just again, I'd rather see
OKC Denver. I'd rather see OKC. Yeah. I'd rather see OKC LA. I'd rather see OKC somebody else than Denver Phoenix.
Yeah,
that's gonna be. See, that's the thing about the NBA, right? The NBA is so great at marketing their star players. They do it so much that they forget about the up and coming teams.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like you got somebody like. You got a OKC team that has to scream at the top of their lungs. Guess what, NBA? We're fucking good. Play us more on national TV. Yeah. Like they got to scream at the top of their lungs for them to get that attention. And it's crazy. They did. You could make the argument that they got shitted on against Dallas in that damn in that semifinal with that shot. You know what I'm saying? You can make that argument because what's the thing what does the NBA look at? Well, who's been around longer? Who's got the bigger fan base? Well, the Mavs probably got a bigger fan base than OKC. So let's promote the Mavs. Yeah. They got Luka.
Yeah. You know, I think the OKC thing probably is a little bit more about who they would potentially be able to play against. Because you also think about it like how many teams and or players do you truly want to sit down and watch on Christmas Day?
The ones you named.
Yeah. So I mean,
in OKC.
Yeah, so OKC is probably the only team that you would make a case for that's left off that you would actually want to have a game on that day.
Right.
But you're still probably going to be matching them up against somebody that's already played.
I'll be honest with you, too. You know who else would be great to see on that day? And they're probably pissed off they're not on it, especially the season they just had, and their boy just was in the Olympics. Damn Pacers. You know what I mean? Indy got that. Indy has a type of offense that you like to see up and down the court. Rick Carlisle don't know what the fuck he doing.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I mean? And this dude was on that 86 Celtic team.
Right.
So he knows how to and won a chip with the Mavs.
Yeah.
So I mean I wouldn't mind seeing them, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So I think those teams are gonna have their shot. But I could see why OKC is like, well, damn, like, what do we got to do to get some major national TV games? Not like the random Thursday in fucking November when nobody's watching this shit. The actual primetime games that people want to see.
No doubt.
So, OKC, though, man, like, I don't know. I got a tough time with them in the sense of, like.
Talk about it. What you mean?
So, it's looking real similar to me, and maybe this is just my previous NBA viewership bias.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is just going to end up being the same thing for them this time around as it was when they had KD, Russ, and Harden.
Wow, same result?
I think it's going to be a lot of, this is the team of the future, and then next thing you know, the future going to be here, and they going to either be broke up or they ain't going to be able to accomplish nothing. Because as wide open as the West is, I don't think you can go to war for 4 playoff rounds and win a chip with Chet as your main big man. He's just not. He's not big enough.
True, but he looked pretty good last year.
He
withstood the gauntlet. He withstood it.
Yeah, but when you can't get rebounds against Daniel Gafford and PJ Washington,
boy, you nailed it.
I'm just saying, like. We're not talking about Jokic. We're not even talking about Karl Anthony Towns. We're talking about Daniel Gafford and PJ Washington. They couldn't get rebounds over Jason Tatum and Al Horford. And they could out-muscle Chet Holmgren. Like that, I think we still got a little bit of weight class punching that they're not ready for yet in terms of that.
Well, that's when you throw Jalen Williams crazy ass down here and have him do that.
See, you know what I'm saying? I get that point too, but when they needed Jalen Williams the most in the playoffs, he was averaging like 14 points a game against the Mavs. So, granted, first time, maybe that was all, they needed to get them jitters out, whatever, but it still looked real close to me to what that OKC team of before looked like, where they might make a finals, they might, have a puncher's chance, but ultimately I don't think it's going to be.
I get it.
It's not going to be like a dynasty that they build.
I 100% get it. I think, and I so see how you see that, and I get that as well, but I think if they get, and you know what they need? If they had a veteran big, if they had like can he make it a whole season? And I don't even know I think he just retired, but if they had like a Boogie Cousins type or just a veteran big, and with some size, somebody who can get that boy and box out Gafford, you know what I'm saying, and box out maybe Wemby or box out another big, someone that can, a veteran big, if they had somebody like that, I think they could go to the next level.
Yeah, and I mean, they signed Hardenstein from the Knicks, but at the same time, you pay that man $87 million for 3 years.
He's not a veteran big. He's a veteran big, in quotes, but he's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think that that's a team where expectations are there. I can see why people have those expectations, but I'm a little bit more hesitant than most people.
Right on. All right, Bet. Moving on, man. We go since it's late August, the season is upon us. Got to talk about it. What do you, Mr. Price? What are your thoughts on football season? Said you had some football thoughts.
Yeah, man. So the NFL season to me is going to be pretty interesting because I think. Same way that we kind of have a gap from like Celtics to everybody else in terms of NBA and who has a chance to win a championship, I still think it's Kansas City's reign to lose.
You think so?
Yeah, because I mean,
I don't think so.
So like to me, right? You saw San Francisco in the NFC last year. They're always an injury or two away from being out of here.
Yep. Did they lose Ayuk yet? Did he go to Pittsburgh?
No, apparently. They are closer to a deal with him now to keep him in San Fran versus some of the trade. Which, if I'm Brandon Ayuk, I get it because to me, he probably looked at the teams that he could potentially go to and like, yeah, I ain't trying to go to them quarterback situations. Like, even with New England, like you got a up and coming quarterback like Drake May. I actually like Drake May. I think he's gonna be good for y'all. But I'm as a receiver who's just getting paid and trying to show that I'm a star receiver in this league. I ain't necessarily got to go play with a rookie quarterback. Especially not in New England.
Okay, I get that though, but you had a deal. There's a deal in place, and a team that wants you that has a stout, stellar defense and a historic franchise, and a defense that's always good every damn year, and always a playoff. No matter even they got Kenny Pickett, whatever that fool name was.
Right.
Even if you got him at the QB and Mitchell Trubisky, they still managed to make it to the postseason. Why would you not run to Pittsburgh? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, fam, that AFC North, stupid, bro. Like that is why I'm not. That is why I'm not head and shoulders for KC like I have in years past. Because I think somebody out of that AFC North, probably be more, is coming for that fucking crown. And that Pittsburgh team, number one, they're the blackest team in the league. I love it. Yep. And number two, you got two killers at quarterback, old and young. I mean, if I'm Ayuk, I would have dipped.
But flip side of that, though, is, okay, you got four really good teams in one division. You might get 3 to the playoffs out of one division.
Right.
So I'm going to go from San Francisco, where I think Brandon Ayuk, somebody can probably correct me if I'm wrong, has probably been to the playoffs every year or maybe every year except one with San Fran. Whereas you go to Pittsburgh and it's a toss-up in terms of just the amount of teams that can get in the playoffs and the amount of teams that actually will. Like,
you come because the division is thicker.
Yeah, well, and you just think about all the good teams that we expect to be in the mix in the AFC. You talking about all 4 teams in the AFC North.
Yeah.
AFC East, you could really make the case that all 4 teams, maybe with the slight exception of the Patriots, feel like they should at least be in the playoff hunt.
Yep.
AFC South, I personally have the Colts as a dark horse. To make the playoffs. They might not win the division,
I ain't mad at you.
But I mean,
I'm shocked by it. But
Anthony Richardson played 5 games, and the 5 games he played.
But you got rid of his biggest weapon in the running back they had. Why would you?
No, Jonathan Taylor is still there.
Oh, Taylor's still there?
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor.
Okay. Because what happened last? Oh, he hurt himself.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor started the season hurt last year, and then when he came back, Anthony Richardson was hurt.
Yeah,
and they still almost made the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I like them at least to be.
They did.
They weren't in the play. They were like I want to say
how many games?
7 teams that make the playoffs, they were like that 8 or 9 range. They weren't very far out of it.
Wow.
And by that. Shane Steichen, I think, is a good coach. For those of y'all keeping up at home, he was the offensive coordinator for the Eagles 2 years ago when they went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And he's going to have that. He's going to have that offense playing pretty similar to how he had Jalen Hurts' offense playing when they first started up in Philly.
Right.
And I just think Anthony Richardson and Jonathan Taylor together with Anthony Richardson, I'm probably higher on than a lot of people, but in the NFL Combine, that man went to the Combine. His overall, athletic performance in the Combine, the only comparison they had to that was Khalil Mack. If that's who your quarterback is, the only comparison you have for him physically on the field as a linebacker, I'm going kind of ride with that. You also got the Texans, who was the kind of the darling of the league last year. So the AFC South is still going to be kind of crazy, and the AFC West is the only division that I feel like anybody can have an easy road through, and that's the Chiefs.
In the AFC, yeah.
Because I mean, the Chargers,
they're going to be better.
They're going to be better, but Justin Herbert's hurt right now.
Oh, he is?
He's got a plantar fascia injury. Like that's not something that's going to go away overnight.
I'm so glad you said it. It leads me to the next one.
Yeah, so
you
got the Raiders, who I mean, their quarterback options are Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell. You don't. Okay.
Right.
And then who am I leaving out? The Broncos.
Boo! Wait, where's the boo? Do I got a boo in this mug?
Like,
man, wait. Matter of fact, here we go. That's for the Broncos.
Yeah, so the Chiefs have the easiest role of any team that is going to be considered a contender to have the top seed,
especially in their division. Yeah.
And so when you can guarantee yourself the top seed and the only bye, so now all I got to do is win 2 playoff games when I'm in the Super Bowl. Yep. I'm gonna take that shot. Yeah. I'm gonna take that shot every time.
I get it, and you make a great case. And I get why Brandon stayed in San Fran. Like, because here's the thing: when you've been with a team, you're established, you got a home, you got family. Who wants to just up and leave and go cross country, especially to an unknown situation? But to bring it back to what you said with the Chargers, right? This brings us to our next topic. CKap still trying to get it to the NFL. Now, man, my man just automatically started laughing, y'all. That's fucked up. He just started laughing. We bring up CKap. Now, here's the thing, right? Granted, I know it has been a long time, and y'all probably thinking, why is this man still trying to get in the NFL? The man is still trying to get in the NFL because his lifelong dream was straight taken from him. And it was taken from him because all he did was protest for black people getting killed by pigs. That's it. And I'm not talking about police officers, law enforcement, because those people do their jobs right. Yeah. I'm talking about pigs that kill us. And all he did was kneel for us, and he did a small, silent protest for us, and the man got blackballed. Yeah. So that's why. The only other thing I don't get, though, right, is he's doing well in these streets, like his community advocacy, his advocacy for social reforms, for police and justice, for empowering young black kids. It's been amazing. Like, my man is actually doing it. Why he still wants to go back to the NFL, half of me I don't get, but the other half of me I do get because of the reasons I just stated. I think he should be given an opportunity. What is it? Harbaugh, I guess, has come out and said that he will offer him a quarterback coaching position. Right. To me, I said this, what was it, last year on Sirius XM on Beadle and Decker, an amazing show, and y'all going to find out later. I got a special surprise for y'all regarding that show, and I will tell y'all probably next Sunday, but or at the end of this show. But I said it months ago that I think you just offer the man a coaching position somewhere in the NFL. I think that would quash a lot of these beefs. Like a lot of people that feel like this man got blackballed, which he did. That would bring those people back and make them feel more comfortable watching the NFL. It would appease him because he's back in the league. And number 3, it would help the team, whatever one they brought him on. You know what I'm saying? Right. Now, I hope Harbaugh is serious and offers that to him, but or will he take it? And once he gets there, hell, I've never been a Justin Herbert fan any fucking way. I don't think he's that damn good. I think he's got an arm, he's got a cannon, but I don't think he's that good. Let CKap get out there and do something. Let CKap do what CKap thinks he can do. Because I've seen scrubs, bruh, start in NFL games since that man got blackballed. What is the cost of giving him a few snaps just so you know, okay, you know what? You don't have it. You know what? Damn, guess what? You do still have it.
So, a couple things that we got to remember with Colin Kaepernick, right? Mm-hmm. And please don't take my laughter as like me disagreeing with Colin Kaepernick's cause or anything that he's done for black people, because I do think he is the one athlete we've seen in recent history that has actually lived out the statement of, I'm willing to give it all up for the cause that I believe in. Ali type shit. The man literally gave up his passion and his job, his career to stand up for his race, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, where things get a little tricky to me, for lack of a better phrase, with Cap is he hasn't played in 8 years.
Yeah.
He's 36 years old.
Damn, it's been 8 years?
His season in which he took the knee, I should say, not the stand, took the knee, was Trump's very first year in office as president.
16?
16.
Wow.
So
wow, because Dump was hating. Yup, you sure right.
So Trump was one of his biggest critics, which of course I'm happy that Colin took the stand that he did because that led us to where we needed to be.
That's another reason why he's blackballed because of that sorry ass ex-president.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
Yeah, his bum ass. So,
yes, sir. Harris 2024.
Yes, please. But it's been 8 years since he played. In that time frame, I personally think the NFL is a much different offensive game than what it was when he was in.
Right.
Also, the biggest part of Cap's playing style that aided him being at the level he was at was his legs.
Yeah.
He's not going to move at 36 like he was moving at 28.
Maybe so, but he probably could still move faster than some of these QBs you got out here. You got a lot of stiff-ass QBs still.
Definitely hear that, too. But also, you took the settlement, too, Colin.
Yeah.
We don't, to this day, we don't know how much money that was.
That's a great point.
We don't know how much money that was.
That's one of the biggest points. I forgot about that. Go ahead.
But
good point.
When it was all said and done, and they were coming to this conclusion of how this whole process was going to be handled, they offered him a settlement, and he took it.
But maybe with the settlement, I don't mean to cut you off, Josh, but maybe with the settlement, it was stated in that we're giving you this because we screwed you over. But future endeavors, or not future endeavors, but future years, future teams, if they want to bring you on, if they want to accept you onto the team, you can still do that. We're not excluding you. We're not continuing to blackball you from the league because you took the settlement. Maybe.
Right. So I took a slightly different implication from that. To me, what's implied by him not only being offered the settlement but then taking it is, this settlement is an agreement between both sides that this is the conclusion, this is the end.
Yeah.
We fucked up.
Yeah.
We understand where this puts us, but we also understand that you no longer desire us as an employer because of the treatment that you received previously.
Right.
Whatever that amount of money is, I'm not even going to speculate because we don't want to put a price on what his stance was. Right?
Yeah.
We don't know. For all we know, it could have been $1 billion. It could have been $1,000. We don't know.
We don't.
He took the settlement, though.
For real.
And so, to me, what that implies is we've washed our hands with the situation.
Yeah.
There's no need to talk about you coming back because that's what we gave you the money for.
But Josh, that's true. But if that was the case, then why did they have that little sham of a tryout for him a couple years after that?
Because
you know what I'm saying?
I think there is some due diligence that needed to happen in, to your point of, does he still have it or not? I think the problem, though, and again, I'm not trying to call Colin out about it, he also didn't necessarily go about that workout as, what's the phrase I'm looking for? He wasn't
professional.
Professional is not the right word. Essentially, he tried to dictate a lot more of the process than what typically goes down for unsigned free agents.
Right.
They usually work out on a Tuesday. They usually have, closed off trials, whatever, with these teams. You find out if you make the roster. If you do, go ahead, do whatever process you got to do in terms of physical, all that, right? I believe the workout they were planning for him, they were going to do some whole event around it on like a Saturday. They needed it to be at an NFL facility. He wanted to do it at like a high school or something like that. And I think once you get into that, like, again, you're the employee in this situation. We can't cater to you now any differently than we would cater to anybody else. As trash as we handled your situation before,
super trash.
As trash as we handled your situation before, we can now not give you like premium treatment compared to any other free agent, because essentially that's what you are. You are a free agent quarterback looking for a job, and if you are looking for a job, you kind of got to operate under our terms again. Right. And to me, putting my black man hat back on, not my NFL owner or NFL player hat, putting my black man hat back on, why do I want to go work for an organization that tried to blackball me in the first place?
That is the enigma. And he has not done an interview, so we do not know. We have to just speculate on that, because the league can truly fucked him over.
Yeah.
But why you want to run back to that league, I don't know, but I'm assuming because of what I said before, he got blackballed. I think something was taken from him, which was his career, that he wants to see if he can get back. Also, too, that those NFL checks that he gets, those are significantly more than anything else
Facts.
that he can maybe get, outside the NFL. That money, he was putting it to a great use.
Right.
So maybe he wants to get back to that so he can do more work with those funds. I don't know, but also too, to go back to what you say about that workout that they orchestrated for him a couple years ago. You're right. You're the employer. You're the employee. That's the employer. Like hell, at every job we're at, we got to acquiesce to what they want. If not, we'll be gone. You know what I'm saying? But if you're getting fucked over, like I am at my job, hopefully you got a union to have your back.
Right.
His union didn't have his back.
That's a great point also.
That's a big point. That's a big thing right there. His union didn't have his back. Number two, which still, I don't understand why. I don't even know who the damn president. Oh yeah, it was that weird mouth motherfucker, that dude with that weird looking jaw.
Was it DeMaurice Smith still?
There it is. It was DeMaurice Smith. Did not have his back at all. It was disgusting. Also, too, he knew that workout was a sham. That's why he set up something down the street. It was literally down the street from the facility that they had, and I want to say it wasn't even an NFL facility.
No, it was a high school.
Yeah, it was
a high school in Georgia.
No, but I'm saying the facility at the NFL
where they initially scheduled.
Yeah, because I think that was a college or something.
It was it's like basically they wanted to use the Falcons facility, but there was an issue where they couldn't do that because the Falcons were like traveling, something like that.
Yeah.
So they had to kind of adjust course. He wanted to do it at the high school. They didn't want to agree to it. It was all a mess.
Right. So he literally does it down the way. It was like up the street from where the original place was. Some of the freaking, some of the scouts went down there to look at him. Most of them didn't. So it's just, to me, I'm 1,000,000% get why he wants to get back, but I also don't get why he wants to come back. You know what I'm saying? But it's
like you said, it's one of those enigma type of things where like you can kind of see it from both sides. But to me, the side that I've landed on is 100,000% appreciate Colin's stance, the activist role that he has played.
Hell yeah.
All the work that he's done for black and brown people throughout the U.S. Since this whole incident.
Right.
But with all that said, I don't think it's a great look for you to be trying to run back to the NFL.
Right.
Even if it does mean, okay, I got to make a livelihood. While I 1,000% get that, why are you relying on the employer that blackballed you to give you another job?
The reason why I get that is because I don't know about you, Josh. How many employers have you worked at that had a union?
I have never worked in a union environment before.
Okay. I have. I've worked in several, including right now. I'm a huge. My family is union. What is it? My wife, she's union. My parents were union when I was a kid, so I come from a union household, and I've seen time and time and time again those people that get fired and they're out on the street, and they're out on the street for 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years. Guess what? And I even had this happen for me when I was working for Coca-Cola out in Maryland Heights before they got rid of that facility. I was working out there. I got screwed over, right? And I got fired. They told me, all right, look, they're letting you go right now, but we're going to have a hearing in the next couple months, and this will be able to, see if we can get your job back, and you make sure you're prepared for it, and have any documents you have, and make sure you can explain to them what happened, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, bet. At the time, I was super excited for it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, bet. I will be there. I'm ready. When is this? Okay, it's then? Oh, okay, cool. Now, this is Coca-Cola who shitted on me. Right. You know what I'm saying? Now, granted, it ain't Atlanta Coca-Cola. It's just local Maryland Heights Coca-Cola, but it wasn't franchised. It used to have a private owner at that Maryland Heights location, but Coca-Cola bought that back from them, so it wasn't local anymore. It was back corporate.
Right.
So I got screwed over by them. Did I want to go back when that hearing was supposed to come up? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And I was all the way for it. And every other person that I know, I've never heard of anyone that when they have a great job like that, when it comes up, when it's time to have the meeting, And okay, do you want to get your job back? Do they say no? Now, granted, I'll even give you the other side of the story. With me, with Coca-Cola, I ended up, when it was time for me to have my meeting, I said no.
Right.
Why did I say no? Because number one, I saw the writing on the wall at that place. It was just so many people there that all their excuses was, that's not my job. That's not my job.
Yeah.
And guess what happened? About less than a year after I said, you know what? I'm good. I'll take my chances out here on the street. Yeah. What is it? Less than a year, Coca-Cola closed that facility.
Yeah.
Because it was just like, everybody named mama wanted to say no. But my point is just when I don't know anybody other than that opportunity I had, and there's other folks too, but usually 8 times out of 10, if you get an opportunity to go back to your previous employer, no matter how bad they fuck you, you want to get back because number one, you want to get back to the money, or number two, you want to be made whole. Right. You want back what the fuck they took from you because they shouldn't have took it from you in the first goddamn place.
Right.
So that is why I think CKap keeps trying to go back. And again, he has not sat down and done a legit interview. I wish to God he'd sit down with
somebody,
some damn body. I was about to say Oprah and Barbara Walters, but Barbara no longer with us. Rest in peace. And Oprah out the game. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like,
to be honest, I don't even know if in 2024 Oprah is the person that I won't ask no questions.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So and it damn sure ain't Stephen Coon Smith. So it's just like,
please don't be.
I'd go to some damn body, and don't go to Shannon either, because that dude, he done sold out.
All signs are pointing to Club Shay Shay.
Yeah, I mean, but no, that ain't where you want to go. But it's just like I get it. I get it because I know that for me personally and other union folks, and he was a union member. But again, enigma, like you said, because we see the other side of it. Why would you want to go back? But I see why.
Yeah, it's like, so, and I think to kind of draw the parallel to the situation that you were just describing with you and Coca-Cola, I think this would be different for you if you do the hearing a couple months later and it turns out, okay, we're not going to give you a job back, but here's a check.
Yeah. Yeah.
Might look a little different.
Now, I've had that happen.
Yeah.
I've had that happen. I had, when I worked for this one company, I'm not even going to say their name because they so shitty, but I had that happen. I got fucked over, and they broke me off a check. The check wasn't nothing but I think it was like $1,800 or some shit like that.
But it was basically like, here's something to hold you over type shit.
Here's something, hey, we fucked up.
Yeah.
This is that. Take this and don't ever bother us again.
Right.
That's basically what it was. And with them, I was like, cool, because I didn't want to come back there. No way, y'all so fucking poorly ran. And so I get it. And it's the way you set your people up to fire them. I was good on that. But with Coca-Cola, though, I did want to go back until I did them months out on the street and fending for myself. And I was just like, I remember how it was. It's like, nah, I don't want to go back to that bullshit. Right. So it's really, it depends on the certain situation. But yeah, I hope that man gets an opportunity, something that he feels comfortable with. Granted, let it be what Harbaugh said or what I said last year, which would be a coaching position, but something somewhere in that league.
Yeah,
that's how I'm looking at it.
Just as a quick update here, apparently over the weekend, Jim Harbaugh has said that Colin Kaepernick won't be on his staff. I'm not saying whether that's something that was Colin's decision or if that came down from the Chargers or the league or whatever. But
right.
I also understand how the media works too. Mm-hmm. No matter where Colin Kaepernick goes, whether it's the Chargers with Justin Herbert or a team that doesn't have a quarterback of the present or the future, whatever, everything that is talked about around that team is going to be centered around when is Colin going to play and can he play.
It may be to a certain extent, and when you saying that, you're talking about distraction.
Yeah.
Okay, but guess what? I think if you have a stable organization like Pittsburgh, like KC, like like New England,
right?
You got a stable ass. Shit, I wasn't gonna say Buffalo, but never mind. You got a stable organization that knows how to deal with the outside noise. Who gives a shit? You know what I'm saying? Just only thing is, what are you gonna give us on the field? Or what are you going to give us in the coaching staff? If you can contribute in the coaching staff that leads to winning, or if you can contribute something on the field that leads to winning, nobody give a shit. They'll take it. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it. But the man has not even been given the opportunity to coach. Like, at least give him that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to hear him say, no, I don't want to be a coach. I want to hear him say, if he says that, because that comes back to the catch-22 part. You hear him say the league is jacked up and that league is horrible, but then you also hear him say, I'm trying to get back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like.
Yeah, it's like you're speaking out of both sides of your mouth at some point.
Yep.
Like, so
Yep.
I think just to kind of put a bow on it, to me, again, could he be a coach? Probably. Does he want to be a coach? Who knows? I just think, one, he wouldn't be working out to be a coach.
Right.
He wouldn't be trying to do workouts in front of teams to be a coach. Two, I struggle with the fact for him that how does somebody prove themselves to be ready to immediately step in and play again when they haven't played the game in 8 years? Also, even if those 8 years are due to how shitty I got treated out of a situation that had nothing to do with the league. Because if we're being honest, him taking the knee to protest the national anthem or to stand up for black people's rights had nothing to do with the NFL. That was between him and his stance on what was going on in the country at that time.
Right.
Nothing to do with the league.
Right.
The league took it upon themselves to take a stance that was separate from him.
Yep.
We will honor the flag. All that bullshit.
All
right?
that bullshit.
So you have, again, an employer that was absolutely willing to take a stance that was opposite of yours, that has, whether it's intentionally or unintentionally, kept you out of the league for the last 8 years. I struggle to wrap my head around why you would want to go back and why it would be a good idea to bring a 36-year-old quarterback who has not played in 8 years back on the field.
Well, also, too, you could look at it as, yes, he hasn't played in 8 years, but guess who's been saving their body for the last 8 years? He hasn't had that wear and tear. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that's something, too.
Football, a different animal, though, in terms of your ability to play at that speed and at the level you need to play in a collision sport like football. I think it would be different if you were talking about a dude who ain't played since 18 and is coming back in the league at 26. You're a 36-year-old quarterback, and you, again, your mobility, while you still have a lot more mobility than the average guy, it's still going to be a lot limited compared to what it used to be. And I hate to be the one to do this too. Colin didn't look that great last time we saw him play.
He didn't look that great but that whole offense was shitty. I can't name me one good receiver they had on that offense.
Right, but
you know
also we gotta put our GM hats on here.
Yeah.
What good to great team needs Colin Kaepernick right now?
Half the league, and it's going to be probably 80% of the league once it gets started, and all them cats get hurt. Every year, the QBs go down like flies. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but again, we're talking about taking somebody off the street who has not played in 8 years. Okay, if I'm the Ravens and Lamar Jackson, do I want to put if Lamar Jackson gets hurt, we're fucked anyway, right? Do I want to put Colin Kaepernick out here to potentially get roughed up and beat up if he's not at the level that we need him to be? Same thing with Buffalo, Josh Allen. Same thing, Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City. Like, the teams that are most equipped to handle the Colin Kaepernick situation don't need to have that situation in the first place.
But here's the thing, though, right? If you may be right to a certain extent, but I'll say this so we can move on because we got some overtime today, so I'm happy for it. You're comparing him to starting QBs. You have to compare him to which he would be. He would be QB2 or QB3 on the depth chart. And if you look at 2 and 3 on the depth chart, you got a bunch of Chase Daniels from Mizzou had a Colt McCoy. Who's that other sorry motherfucker from Dallas that kept getting jobs?
What is it? Cooper Rush.
Cooper Rush. No, I'm sorry. Cooper Rush was actually good. The one before him, that other white boy before him. Who was that dude? You know who I'm talking about. You know exactly who I'm talking about. He had that longer name. Anyway, you got cats like that who just get year after year. It's not even a thought. It's not even, definitely sign him. Number one, that cat will not see any playing time. And if they do get on the field, what is it? If they scratch the field in some way, shape, or form, what the hell? Why'd my IG mess up? That's not cool. Well, that's weird. In no way, shape, or form are they going to see the field. And if they do see the field, you ain't worried about it because you know they scrubs. I'm just saying he could take the job of one of them scrubs, and it's always some random white boy that the owner likes and that is always on that team as QB in the depth chart is 2 or 3, and that dude gives you nothing. When you put him out there, he gives you nothing, and you know it. And I just. He could get one of those jobs. Like,
so
that's
it. But back to the enigma piece of all this before we wrap it up. we still have not heard Colin say that he feels like he could just go and be a backup either.
Oh, he'll take a spot. I don't think he thinks he's going to be a starter. The quote I just heard him say earlier this week was trying to get one of these owners to give me a chance and get a roster spot, get on somewhere. He does not care where he's at on the depth chart. He just wants to be on that 52-man roster.
And I definitely feel that from Colin. But the only thing that I will point out to Colin before we close out on this subject. Every single owner, with the exception of maybe like one or two, are all the same guys that were owning teams when he got blackballed in the first place.
Yep.
So that's the only perspective that I'm coming back to on this is, whether you believe something has changed or that you can still provide a change through playing in the NFL, I just think that time has passed now.
You might be right. All right, phone number 515-599-1687, 515-599-1687. Again, 515-599-1687. Call in. I think you could take a backup spot. But what is it? You brought up something really great earlier this week, and you sent me the article, but I did not have time to read it because I read this other article that I can't wait to talk about in the marijuana minute, that Missouri has allowed for us Missourians when it comes to cannabis products, which is disturbing. But you said that sports gambling will finally be on the ballot.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Missourians, we have finally hit the point that we have been waiting on. Missouri has now added to the November ballot here, this upcoming election, the ability to legalize sports gambling here in the state. So I need to go back to the article to see if there are any other specifics around like what type of timeline we would be operating under if it was voted like in favor of. But the biggest win to me is just the fact that it's now coming on the ballot, because I think we've been waiting at least 3 to 4 years to get it on the ballot, and it's failed a couple of different times. But now the boost that we're getting now not only is from the lawmakers here in the state of Missouri, but every single professional sports team that is based in Missouri has voted in favor of this particular bill. So I think the writing is kind of on the wall for the state. Like, look, let's not keep passing up on this money. Because and I believe Arizona, this was 2020 or 2021 when they legalized sports gambling. I believe the state alone, the state made roughly like $50 to $60 million off that in the
sports
gambling revenue. Not even just in the first year, in the first 2 months.
Damn, $50 to $60 million?
2 months.
Jeez.
So because you have to understand. So for those of y'all that kind of have not either sports bet in the past or not really understanding how a state would make money off of it. We as gamblers, when we win a bet, whether it's for $1, whether it's for $1 million, there's taxes due on those winnings. Now there's certain amount that you can win before you have to pay tax on. I want to say it's like somewhere between $1,000 and $2,000, where they don't tax you because the amount that you've played balances out the money that you won. But once you make so much money off of sports gambling, you got to pay taxes on it.
Got to. It's American.
And unlike like your employment, that's a much higher tax percentage to pay than like your income taxes, for instance. So let's say you making 25% off of all of the sports gambling winnings in the state. You could have a state that wins $100,000 in a month. You could have them win $100 million in a month. Regardless of the amount, you're making 25% off of that. So that's how the states make money. Where it comes into play specifically for Missouri and why Missouri has been behind the ball on this, you have pretty much all of our bordering states that have legalized. So Illinois has
Kansas too?
Kansas has legal sports gambling. Arkansas does not, but Tennessee does. Hell, even Iowa and Indiana have legal sports gambling.
Indiana does.
So whether you like it or not, the citizens in your state have been gambling. They've just been paying that tax money to other states.
You've been losing
so now
that
you kind of need to get on the ball with it. And in addition to that, the sports teams being behind it means now you can make additional money at these sports venues that you were not making before. Because for a lot of teams, whatever merchandise you sell, whatever concession sales happen, all that money stays in-house. Now, as you can see with a lot of teams in the NBA, NFL, hell, even NHL in some cities, they have gambling areas or gambling facilities on site within the arena.
Yes, they do.
And
yes,
regardless of if it's inside the team arena or down the street from the team arena, the state gonna make money off of it too.
The Wizards have that. The Cleveland Cavaliers have it.
Yeah.
Indiana Pacers have one that Indiana Pacers have it in the building.
Yep.
What else? Wizards, Pacers. What was the other one I just said? Cleveland.
Hell, the Bulls are sponsored by FanDuel.
Yeah, and I want to say, I don't think the sports book was in the United Center, but it was. Damn, where was that sports book? I think they. No, I'm not sure if they had it in the United Center, but it's just like it is in. But okay, here's the thing though, right? I want to ask you this question. Now, this is kind of an old question because this isn't sports gambling being on the ballot. But are you comfortable with these professional sports teams being in? Okay, 3:30. 3:15. I texted you. Oh, for real? It can't be 3:30. Oh, can I get 10 more minutes? It's 3:20 now. Jerk off. All right. What is it? The thing that I'm not sure about, right, is what do you feel about sports teams being in bed with sports gambling? Like the way they are, it's just like, they lovers now. When it used to be that was a faux pas, that was looked down upon on our society, where sports entities and gambling would communicate. Now they bros. So what do you?
So I think there's some gray area that definitely needs to be explored there, because you can't, like, let's say the Bulls, for instance, right? Mm-hmm. You can't be a team that is sponsored by a sports book while also being a league that suspends its players for gambling on sports.
Right.
Now, transparently, I also understand from a league while they say, look, you work in the NBA, you shouldn't be betting on NBA games. You can bet on anything else, just not the NBA. I totally understand that, but I think you got to find the balance where it's like, hey, guys can be allowed to place whatever bets. Maybe you say they don't do it on the team or inside team facilities like a lot of teams have said before. But in the states where it's legal, players should be allowed to gamble as much as they like if they have a problem.
You think so, Josh?
Yeah, it should be implicit in any contract, whatever. You can't gamble on the league that you work in. Yeah. But why, as an NBA player, can I not bet on the NFL?
True. And I think they should, but therein lies a problem, because you can mess around and you have somebody who plays for an NFL team, but he's betting on NBA games, and guess what? His cousin plays for said NBA team.
Right. So but you also have laws in place where it's the same thing with like insider trading with the stock market.
Yeah.
There still has to be some lack of insider knowledge involved in your sports gambling. So there's certain stuff that you can still rule out and kind of eliminate if you play your cards right. But I do think just let the folks gamble, man. You letting everybody else do.
Yeah, I hear you. I think it's a sticky situation, and the player side of it is really jacked up. Because them cats are getting screwed over. Before we get out of here today in basketball history, I wanted to give you all this heads up. August 18th, 1992. This is a segment we're going to start doing all the time. It was two